Hey guys, I hope you've all had a good start to 2023 so far. So the topic of today's video is something that a lot of people are perhaps doing as a New Year's resolution. So maybe I'm a little bit late on this one, but I don't think there's ever a bad time to do something like what I'm going to talk about in this video, which is a no spend month or no spend year. So I'm going to be explaining what this concept is in this video, what the benefits of it are, and why you might want to consider doing a no spend year or a no spend month. So let's get right into it. So when we talk about no spend, we're talking about making unnecessary purchases. So that means cutting back on or perhaps even completely eliminating our discretionary spending. And when I mention discretionary spending here, I really am talking about our wants. We have needs, absolute necessities such as food, shelter, bills, etc. These don't come under the scope of a no spend month or year. You're still gonna have to pay for your necessities. So they don't come under the scope of this no spend month or year, whatever you're doing. So with that said, with the no spend month or year, you get to decide the rules. So you might want to perhaps focus on particular categories. You might want to completely not spend any money on eating out or on clothes shopping, for example, if those are particular areas of weakness maybe, or if there are areas that you spend a lot of money and you want to particularly cut back on. You might want to completely eliminate spending on any discretionary spending, or you might want to completely eliminate it with the exception of a hobby. If you go to the gym, if you play sports with the sports club, for example, then you might want to leave that out of this as well. But the point is, you decide how to run this. As I've alluded to so far as well, you of course get to determine the duration as well. If you want to do this for just a month, if you want to do it for a couple of months, if you want to do it for the entire year, it's completely up to you. So who can do a no spend month? Well, anybody can do a no spend month. I could do a no spend month. You watching, someone in your family could do it. The wealthiest person in the world could do a no spend month. But the key takeaway from the reading I've done around this is that you need a goal and a reason, an objective that you want to do this challenge. That when you make a decision to not buy something, you can say, this is why I'm doing this. You'll see through watching through videos on this channel that I'm very big on goal setting and being focused on achieving something when it comes to your finances, and that you pursue something actively. So particularly when it comes to this challenge, if you're just doing the challenge but you don't have anything that you're working towards by doing this, then psychologically I think it will be pretty tough, because you'll just feel like you're depriving yourself of good things or everyday pleasures, and you don't know why you're doing it. Of course you're going to have more money by doing so, but if you don't know what you're going to use that money for, why you're going to use it, then it's going to be tough. Some examples of goals or things that you might want to work towards when you do this challenge are perhaps if you're saving to buy a house, if you're saving to go on holiday, maybe you want to buy a car, maybe you're trying to pay off your debt and get out of debt quicker. Then these are good ideas for goals and objectives that will keep you motivated and that will remind you of your why you're doing this challenge if you decide to do a no spend month or year, or however you want to conduct it. And so what are the benefits of doing a no spend challenge? Well, the first one, pretty obvious of course, is the big financial savings that will come as a result. If you were to set out your monthly budget and you put your needs and your discretionary spending together, and you took out that discretionary spending, or the part that, for the purposes of the challenge you're not going to do, I'm sure you'll see that will represent probably a nice chunk of money that you would have spent but is going to stay in your pocket, whether working towards your goals, your savings, paying down your debt. And that's obviously a big bonus that comes from this challenge as well. That will, I'm sure, be worth it for you. The second key benefit that I think comes from this is that it helps you to develop self-control and discipline, because by setting a goal, by having something to work towards, and then having the no spend challenge as your course of action to get towards that goal, then I think that reminds you again what you're working towards, and it will make you more likely to hold yourself back if you feel like you're on the edge and you're about to make that purchase that you shouldn't make, because you want to really succeed and get the most out of this challenge. Of course, by having those goals as well, it helps you to understand what is really important to you and what you really want to get out of the challenge, what you really want to get out of your life. which, you know, the challenge should perhaps, if in part, if not fully, enable you to do. And now the third benefit, so linked to that second point that I was making, is that it prevents you from, of course, making those unnecessary purchases and perhaps ending up with unnecessary items, unwanted items in the house, and even, you know, hoarding. You know, you're not going to end up with loads of stuff that you'll use once, or you might buy it and not even use it at all because you saw it in a sale or something like that. By doing this challenge, you're really restricting what you spend your money on to absolute necessities, perhaps plus a few things, depending on, again, of course, how you run the challenge. So you're essentially not buying anything more than the absolute minimum that you need to get through life. And what you'll perhaps find is, you know, you'll find a way to get through with the minimum, or you'll find a way to work with what you've got. And if you really, really do need something, then of course you can go out and buy it. But again, you'll be able to see that you can do a lot more with a lot less than perhaps you thought as well. So yeah, guys, I wanted to talk about this because I am thinking about doing a no spend challenge this year. Perhaps not the whole year, but maybe one or two or several months throughout the year, I am planning on doing maybe a no spend challenge. So I wanted to put the thought out there, you know, see what you guys think about it, perhaps challenge you to do it as well if you feel inspired. And yeah, I think it's a great way to, you know, get your finances in check. And, you know, even if everything is good with your finances, this can just be a nice way to, you know, hit the reset button and just have another think about what you're really spending your money on, and if you can cut back even further, if that's, you know, something that you're interested in. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Leave a comment and let me know, would you consider doing a challenge like this? Till next time, I'll see you on the next one, and let's get this money.